Welcome to the very first edition of the Bryan Klein Show. And I'm so proud because this is a milestone in the life of the Max Challenge program. We've reached 10,000 members. Absolutely fantastic. And this weekly show is where those 10,000 members are going to have a chance to ask me whatever the heck that they want. So with that, thanks again for helping the Max achieve 10,000. And let's get on with the first question. Question number one I have from JP on a Facebook post. He says, why is the Max a 5-day-a-week per week program? All right, so I'm going to tell you why the Max is a 5-day-a-week program. It's a 5-day-a-week program because first and most importantly, we're trying to help people make better choices when it comes to nutrition and most certainly exercise. And it's so easy. If you had Saturday as that 5th day, as your excuse day, that you're going to come on Saturday and you're going to miss Tuesday and instead you're going to go on Saturday, so many people are going to miss Tuesday and they're never going to get around to coming on Saturday. That's why it's a 5-day-a-week program, because we want our members to be laser focused. And I can tell you this, if you come to the class 5 days a week and give it your all, you deserve Saturdays off. And that's all I got to say to that. And that's why it's a 5-day-a-week program. All right, folks, I got question number 2 here. And this comes from Stephanie. And she sent us a Facebook message. Stephanie's question is this: what is your best piece of advice for someone that has a struggle with cravings? All right, Stephanie, this is my advice. Well, you didn't get the way that we are overnight. It took 20 or 30 or 40 years to develop the habits that we have now. And what happens is each time that we reach for a cookie, or each time that we take the piece of chocolate, or each time that we have that piece of cake or the pizza on the way home, we're creating a mind-body connection. And every single time that we repeat that behavior, that mind-body connection is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. It starts off like strands of thread, and then each time that we repeat it, that mind-body connection goes from a thread to a string to a rope to a chain, and finally, it's so thick and strong, it's like a steel cable. So the longer we've been repeating these behaviors, the harder it's going to be to cut them off and to stop them. But once you recognize that, essentially what it comes down to is replacing your old behavior that isn't serving you with a new behavior that supports your 10-week goal. And it's going to stink in the beginning. But you know what's going to happen before long? Your new behavior starts off as a thread, then it becomes a string, then it becomes thicker, a rope, then it becomes like a chain, and then it becomes like a steel cable. So my best advice is stick with it. Give it everything you got for 10 weeks. Push those cravings aside and replace those behaviors with new behaviors that support your 10-week goal. And I promise you this, you'll reinvent yourself from the inside out and you'll be glad that you did. Take it to the max. All right, here's a good one. Barbara asks, why does it take you so long to count down from 10 to 0? Well, I can tell you this, it takes so long for me to count down from 10 to 0 because I'm trying to think of the next thing to do when I'm done counting. So that gives me enough time to think of the next thing to do. Thanks for that question, Barbara. All right, next question, guys. For new members starting nutrition, what are the consequences of not eating all servings? Will it reduce results if I don't eat everything that the program calls for? All right, so this is from Eddie, by the way. This is what the deal is with this. Step number 1 is all about discipline. It's all about eating the right foods at the right times, and yes, in the right portions as prescribed. This is why. Your metabolism is going to get used to metabolizing the amount of foods that you're eating. And because you're consistent and not eating different quantities of food from day to day, it's going to start working like a machine. And your body's going to get used to digesting the same amount of food over the course of time. And then as the program continues on, and this is why people get such amazing results, and we take a portion out, your body is going to still metabolize at the same rate, except now it's going to burn the fat rather than the food that's in your stomach. And that's the science behind the program and why it's so important to have the discipline to stick with it 100% and eat the proper quantities. All right, we're coming to the end here, guys. This is the last of our questions for this week. If I didn't answer your question this week, well, I apologize for that. Ask it again next week, and hopefully we'll catch you then. or private message it to me, and hopefully we pick it up that way. But for now, here's the last question. I hope it's helpful to everybody, all 10,000 members that are out there. What are a few books a new member can read to help them with their progress? So here's some of the books that I read that helped me get initially on the right track towards a life of health and fitness. One, The Way to Eat by Dr. Katz. This is a great book. Recommend it to everybody. There it is. You get it on Amazon. This was a pretty cool one. Finally Fit at 50. That inspired me to get in shape because I wasn't 50 yet, so I had even a better chance. This was a great book. Any Anthony Robbins book. Great motivation, gets you really thinking about possibilities instead of impossibilities. And this is a workbook that comes along with one of his programs, and this is The Body You Deserve. And last but not least, that's my book. That tells you all about my journey from not in so much great shape towards getting in the best shape of my life. And I hope that that's helpful. And with that, signing off for the week. Have a fantastic week 2. Take it to the max.